What would you say if I asked you, when was the last time you experienced true happiness? And it might be hard for you to answer that question, you know, with 2020 happening and all, impending doom. But the truth is, after asking so many different people of different backgrounds, when was the last time they experienced true happiness, it became clear that happiness is different for absolutely everyone.
My first gig.
My senior year, hanging out with my friend. The last week or so, I actually got an apartment. This moment, right? This moment.
That's because it's not a tangible object. It's not something that we can taste or see. It's a concept. It's a state of being, and it means something completely different to everyone on earth. For some, it's material. For others, it's a moment. And since it's incredibly difficult to put a finger on what happiness is exactly, I figured I'd go to the most reputable source I have. So I asked Google, and it felt like I hit a wall. So I figured we could figure this out together. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Danny Osa, and this is Dose of Danny. As we've gotten older, the idea of happiness seems harder and harder to understand, let alone achieve. Our world develops constantly and we discover new things, making some problems disappear, but other newer, more complex problems take their place. And at this point in time, people are more prone to depression and anxiety than ever before. We seem to find new reasons to worry almost every single day. So in a world like this and at a time like this, how can any of us be happy? After hours of intensive research, I realized that happiness is subjective. It's a mental state that can be changed and swayed almost as frequently as just refreshing our Instagram feeds. And there are so many different variables that come into how or why a person can be happy. And of course, that scale varies from person to person. But in general, as humans, the focus lays within a few needs. And that is your well-being, which is your emotional and physical state, your environment, your home, the level of safety, your freedom, your relationships, which are your friends and your family, your own personal meaning, your level of success, and pleasure, which are all of those little things that just bring you instant satisfaction. All of these needs are just general topics that have the ability to dictate how happy we can be in our lives. But the reason happiness is such a difficult concept to explain and understand is because there are millionaires that spend all their money and free time in therapy to try and cure their depression. And we also have people living in the most remote villages of the Himalayas who are some of the happiest people on earth. That's because the meaning of happiness to a single person is dictated by how important one of these needs is over another in their life. For example, someone who prioritizes money over interpersonal relationships might have a way better time just sitting alone in their awesome new house than they would be spending time with their friends or with a significant other. And for someone who doesn't have those resources, then maybe they'll just be happy after a game of soccer with their friends. The bottom line is everyone's version of happiness is completely different. And in a time where we often feel like our needs aren't being met, it's extremely important to look within ourselves and figure out what it is that really drives our happiness. What I've learned about myself in the past few months is that I always allowed happiness to mean either looking a certain way or being socially accepted. That meant that when coronavirus happened, when I let myself go and there were absolutely no validating social experiences, no parties, no dinners, no festivals, I felt completely empty. And that's when I realized that I had been prioritizing the wrong things my entire life. So what's important to me now is self-acceptance rather than social validation. And I prefer feeling and looking healthier rather than just being obsessed with a certain number on the scale. And even though I'm not at my weight goal, I lost my job and I still can't go see live music, I made a choice to wake up happy every day. The only difference between all of those years and right now is a new perspective. We often go on Instagram and we start to compare ourselves to other people. All of their lives are perfect. They travel, everyone's just having fun, and everyone's so successful. But the truth is, we can't compare ourselves to other people's version of happiness because everyone's version of happiness is completely different. It's important for us to remember what happiness really is to us, and it's the idea of self-satisfaction. To work hard on yourself and what you really care about so that you can live your life exactly how you want to and reach a state of bliss that cannot be shaken by the world or the input of other people. And I know that in times like this, it might seem like a completely abstract idea to even reach a state of temporary happiness. You might ask me, Danny, how am I supposed to feel happy happy if I'm not where I want to be yet. You can't become obsessed with the idea that you're just failing right now and you feel horrible right now and you're not doing anything right now. Sure, we're in the middle of a pandemic and everything kind of sucks still, but it's not always going to be like this. You're going to see the end of it. So for now, what you can do is just start a process for yourself. The steps are simple. Think about when was the last time you experienced true happiness. Think about why it caused a burst of joy or satisfaction, and try to incorporate more experiences like that into your life. At least what you can do right now. If you feel like you'll feel happier if you take care of yourself physically, do it. If it'll be by spending more time in nature, do it. And if it's learning something new that will eventually put you in the path of the career that you want, then do it. Just know that you're moving in the right direction. Remember that the journey to happiness is just about you becoming the person that you want to become. The absolute best version of yourself. And the only person that has the ability to dictate what that is you. Stop focusing on unrealistic expectations of yourself. Stop comparing your happiness and your life to other people. Change the perspective of your life and yourself. Focus on what you do have and what you can do and just take it day by day. Love the process and be excited for what's to come. I hope this video inspires you to change your perspective and see your life for all the things that it could be and not what it is right now. So if you're ready to be a happy little human, then join me on this Back to Happiness tour so we can continue to get better together. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to turn on post notifications so that you can keep up with me and the Back to Happiness tour. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next week.